Welcome to Community Roundtable. I'm Nick Burns from the Salt Lake Community College Division of Communication and Performing Arts. Today on the show, the Salt Lake Community College Thayne Center for Service Learning has been going strong, winning awards for over 20 years. The Thayne Center puts students out in the community, volunteering while they earn credit. Here to talk about the Thayne Center, Sean Crossland and Rebecca Van Maren. So Rebecca, I'll start with you. Tell me what you do at the Thayne Center.
So I'm the Community Partnerships Coordinator.
Which means?
It means that I get to build relationships with nonprofits, schools, government agencies, help them to be ready for students, staff, and faculty to come out and volunteer and engage with their missions.
So you're the one that goes and finds groups that then students can go do all this work at?
Right. So I build relationships primarily with volunteer coordinators at the different agencies and provide workshops and networking opportunities and other technical assistance.
So for a job like yours, what does one study? I mean, did you come up through service learning yourself, or how does one get to being a community service partner enabler?
Absolutely. Great question. I do have an undergraduate degree from the University of Utah in Family Consumer Studies.
Okay.
But I was very involved at the Thayne Center and did service learning all throughout my career. I was a service learning scholar up there as well.
Okay.
So kind of have roots in civic engagement and nonprofits, and this felt like a really great fit to be able to build capacity and work with a diverse groups within our community.
And we all know there are plenty of groups that could use help, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, on any number of levels, any number of topics.
Yes, we have a wide range. Right now we have about 125 different community partners that have expressed interest, and that working with our students and with our college is a value of theirs, and they really want to be targeting our population specifically. They see a lot of value in that.
Okay. So Sean Crossland, you run the Thayne Center?
I do.
Okay, just wanted to check. So these numbers blow my mind. 250 service learning courses. So we have 250 courses taught by multiple faculty members that are all putting all their students out in the community. 5,000 students involved, 70,000 volunteer hours. So we have 70,000 hours of commitment to the community where students can earn credit.
Yeah, and that's just from the service learning classes. So there's other ways that students get involved. You know, clubs and organizations. We've got lots of programs in the Thayne Center, so that's specifically the service learning aspect of it.
And are we special? Are we ahead of the curve on doing this?
You know, it depends on who you ask.
If I ask you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of really great things that we do that are exemplary, especially at the community college level. The Civically Engaged Scholars Program that Brandon will talk about a little bit later is one of two transcript designating honors programs specifically around civic engagement at a community college in the entire country. So we are, in some ways, we are very much on the forefront of some of this work, and then there's other places that we have an opportunity to grow. And
I know you've been with the college a long time, and the Thayne Center's been around 20 years. What would people see different if you were a service learning student, 15, 20 years ago? What would look different today?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think a big part of it is actually the work that Rebecca does in fostering those relationships. 20 years ago, there's a really passionate faculty who's interested or maybe has a relationship with a partner in the community, and because of their dedication, they're able to create an opportunity for student. And now we literally have a catalog of opportunities for students to pick what's going to be most beneficial and what's going to influence their learning the most.
So Rebecca, you do all this work to groom and help the community partners who want our students. What about on that other side that Sean mentions, that working with faculty side?
Right. So I have a counterpart that works within academic affairs, really helping to work with faculty around getting their courses service learning designated and things like that. But there is a lot of work being done to marry faculty and community partners together. We really want to make sure that the partners understand the learning outcomes from the faculty courses and what their interests are, and that it's actually meeting a community identified need. That's a really big part of what we do. So I definitely get to go between both to really help build those relationships.
And you make a good point that this isn't like busy work. This isn't cut and paste and go spend some time doing something and earn some credit. These students are actually doing work for these groups.
Right. We view our community partners as co-educators with our students. And one of the things I talk about with them is that their work has real-world consequences, both for the good and for the bad. So if the students are there involved and making a difference, they're going to learn a lot about themselves, about their future career paths, about the course content, and so much more. They really are playing a valuable role in those students' education.
And I hear both sides in my position, that some students go from service learning course to course to course and they love it and they want all their courses. And then there are students that are like, oh my God, why did I take this course? Please shoot me, right? This is just extra work that doesn't mean crap. So can that track with faculty as well? I mean, you certainly wouldn't want a faculty member involved who was thinking, oh God, this is extra work.
Right.
So
I think we see it both ways.
Okay.
But I think for a lot of it, the benefit of service learning doesn't necessarily hit you during the course, but more in that reflection that comes afterwards.
That's one of the requirements for students in service learning, is to actually reflect on what it means to them, like you say, either academically or career-wise.
Right. But I mean, I think back to some of my courses in my undergraduate career, and they may not have been my favorite class at the time, but they've definitely resonated with me as I've moved forward in my life.
There's much more recognition and much more emphasis that everyone involved in the process has the opportunity to co-create the knowledge. So it's not just the faculty is, I'm imparting my knowledge on you, or even that the community partner is imparting their knowledge, but that the students' knowledge and their experience and their perception and their perspective of the subject and of the topic is also honored as valid. So,
and that to me is one of the key things that doesn't get talked about, and that is students today, 21st century students. I mean, I hate to brag about my age, but when I was a kid, it was dumped into your head, and then you spit it back up like a mama bird. Kids today don't want that, right? Kids today, and I'll use the word kids, but students today, what you're offering is far more valuable and resonates with far more because it's self-created learning, right? The why is there.
Absolutely, and that's why in this conversation of what community engaged learning means for institutions, it always moves into a institutional shift kind of conversation, because so many faculty, right, as they're brought up, that's that old model, right? It's the banking model that says, here, I have knowledge that you need to learn and that you need to be able to tell back to me. And when we get in the classroom and it's our opportunity to teach, we think, okay, this is how I learned, right? I learned by someone standing in front of me and telling me these things, as opposed to someone asking me and meeting me where I am. So, so that's a really exciting, I think, nationally, is in terms of what the field looks at in terms of honoring knowledge.
And here at Salt Lake Community College, is it growing? We mentioned 250 courses. Are we going to have 300 in some day soon?
I think we will. I think more importantly is the emphasis on quality, right? We don't look at numbers as the indication of our success. We look at the experience and the and the meaningful partnerships that are built and maintained. So we don't have an urgency to hit any kind of mark in terms of the numbers, but it's more about so a lot of the front end of the work that we're doing involves working more with departments, and so they can kind of clarify what this work means for their entire department, as opposed to a course-to-course basis. Of course, we need to have that at the course level with the faculty, but thinking about how it fits into a larger picture of the goals of the department.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So real quickly, how do students who do this give feedback, if for good or for ill? How does that work, real quickly?
There's surveys and there's lots of intentional feedback loops that they're incorporated, and the reflections are definitely a big part of it as well.
Because we hate to just leave the students hanging.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So only a few seconds left. Where for more information? Students who want to get involved, or students who want to be students here? Where do they go? What do they do?
The fastest way is website slcc.edu/Thayne Center. We're also really active on Facebook, sort of active on Twitter. But that's the best place to start, or come to our office. We have our main office is in the garden level of the Student Center at the Redwood campus. And then we also have a satellite office at the South City campus in 2-080.
Very good. Sean Crossland, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Rebecca Van Maren, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on Community Roundtable. For everything related to Salt Lake Community College, please check out our website. It's simple, slcc.edu. You can find information about academic and community programs, current and future student resources, and upcoming campus events. That's slcc.edu. And we'll see you next time on Community Roundtable. I'm Nick Burns. Keep it tuned. SLCC TV.